Hello and welcome to this evening's Meditation Tuesday. Tonight we are going in deep. We are going to be diving into why it is so hard to get relief from migraine headaches. So if you've tried the medications, nutrition, exercise, hydration, and still you're getting migraine headaches, tonight's session is not about giving you a tapping exercise or essential oil to support your symptoms. It is about sharing new perspectives, holistic perspectives on what is taking place to activate a migraine headache. And so again, if you are somebody that is experiencing migraine headaches, I want to jump out of this computer and give you a giant hug. And I just want to let you know that you are not alone. I feel like people that suffer from migraine headaches, it's almost like this, you're the silent sufferer where nobody knows how to get you the relief that you deserve to have. And so you are experiencing these headaches that take you completely out of commission, and you just have to surrender to it, push past, show up the next day, unsure when the next migraine headache will come. And so again, tonight is about giving you some inspiration, some empowerment for you to feel seen, and some validation. And of course, some guidance on how to get the relief, to take charge of your healing journey and know that you are one step closer to getting there. So I will be sharing with you two holistic perspectives, as well as then we're going to dive into 4 questions to ask ourselves that kind of unveil a little bit more about the root cause of our migraine headaches, and then some simple breathing to support us to process emotions, where we're going to be delving into the layers of the connectedness between emotions and migraines and the effects that it has on the body and of course our head. So as I go through this tonight, it's live. I can't hear what you're saying, so I'm going to be unveiling a lot of information. And so I ask you to find your breath right now, just breathing in the nose, out the mouth, and just continually, that's not right, I don't think, but continually coming back to your breath, breathing as I share this information with you. So the first perspective I want to share with you for migraine headaches is what we look for in traditional Chinese medicine. So in acupuncture, acupressure, 5 rhythms, Chinese medicine. When someone is experiencing migraines, we look to see if there is an earth and a fire imbalance. And so what that means is the earth rhythm that's within us is our body, our physical vessel. How nurtured and supported do we feel? And our fire rhythm is our heart, the fire within us, our soul self. And so we look to find if there is a disconnect between these 2 centers of who we are. And what it means is if there's a disconnect between the earth and the fire, it means that something has happened to you where you physically do not feel safe to process a past emotion and experience. So there is a disconnect. And just take a nice breath. And so when we look a little bit deeper to how there is a disconnect between our ability to process past hurts, past emotions, because physically we may have been violated, we have lost control in a situation, have experienced harm, it means that we're unable to process, right? We're unable to process our emotions because we do not feel safe. And so now I'm going to take you up into the head, into the brain, where I'm going to share with you where we look in energy medicine. And so when we can't process emotions, we look to our hormones. And so I show you a picture of the brain here because this is our microchip right here. We're going to be talking about the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the amygdala. All right. And so the hypothalamus here is the CEO of our body. It is in charge of telling us to have balance, which means homeostasis, right? The temperature of our body, as well as, the link between our nervous system. Are we in a fight or flight state? And how are we processing emotion? How are we secreting hormones to the body? So the hypothalamus is in charge of overall well-being, right? And so let's imagine that we have a threat. All right. So the hypothalamus is going to tell the pituitary gland, which is like our general manager, which hormones need to do which job. So the pituitary gland will tell the adrenal glands to secrete cortisol, which is our stress hormone, right? It's going to talk to the thyroid. It's going to talk to the part of our body that builds muscles, that builds bones. It is in charge of secreting oxytocin. Did I say that right? Oxytocin, which is like our social bonding. It regulates our skin pigmentation, estrogen, testosterone. So as you can understand, the pituitary gland is our general manager. It is again, I know I'm repeating myself, but just to be clear, telling which glands in the body to create which hormones and how much of those hormones. So if we're experiencing a threat, the hypothalamus is going to tell the pituitary gland to create a lot of stress hormone, cortisol, to know that we're in a fight or flight state. And then over here, we have the amygdala. The amygdala is our library. Imagine a giant library holding every single memory of every single trauma you've experienced in your life, in your ancestors' life, which is encoded into your genes, and also your soul self life. You even can get into past lives here, right? So we, in the energy healing words, speak of the Akashic records. What if the Akashic records are right here in the back of our brain, into the infinite space within us? So tying it into migraines, something has happened that is very challenging and you're unable to process, where we have these experiences when we're young, when we lose control and we put them in a closet and we don't want to look back because it's too dark to deal with. And so the amygdala here remembers. It remembers everything. And it tells the pituitary gland that it is stressed out. It tells the hypothalamus it is stressed out. And it also does the emotional processing, the fear conditioning, the emotional memory. It contributes to our social behavior and also our sensitivity to our environment. And so taking one good snapshot of this picture here and seeing how the center of our brain, how it sends these signals of stress, which affect all of the rest of our body. So now, with all that information, maybe bring your hand behind your head, maybe your other hand onto your heart. And we're just going to take some breaths, understanding that there is some past memories that are creating a lot of difficulty to process feelings and get the body to be balanced. Welcome to being a human. And if you're experiencing migraines, welcome to being a powerful soul where you've experienced significant pain in your past and it doesn't make any sense. And this is when we can sometimes even be angry at God because something has happened that was out of our control and we wonder, why would we go through an experience like this? Why would this happen to me? And it's those powerful souls that we're here to explore emotional textures. And it is not an easy feat. So I just want to say how I see you, and you are not alone. And I believe in your healing recovery. And so now I want to share with you 4 questions to ask yourself to begin to be able to process some of the disconnect. And they're high-level questions. Okay. And so we're going to ask them we're going to ask the question in a state of, we're going to ask the question in a form of a statement. So we're asking ourselves different questions on how we're disconnected. So the first question is, I am connected to the earth. Asking yourself if you're connected with the earth. And if you received a no, just welcome, relax into establishing that connection. And if you are already connected, just breathe into it. I find that the people that I know who are challenged with migraine headaches have a deep connection with the earth. It's where the earth, they feel the safest and the most connected. So welcome the connection with the earth. The next question to ask yourself in the form of a statement. I am connected to my higher self. And notice the response that you receive. And if you don't get a full yes, here is the part of ourselves where we come into working with the universal law of forgiveness, where sometimes we need our higher selves to apologize to us for what we've experienced. Or I'm so sorry that you have gone through the pain and suffering when you're a young girl or in your 20s. I'm sorry. And I love you. And you are incredible. The third question we ask ourselves is, I am connected to all that is. Just noticing if you feel connected to all that is, to source, to God, to whatever that means to you. And if you feel disconnected from that, again, it's a time to express how you feel. If you perhaps are angry at God, or feel hurt, or are scared, or maybe you feel fully and connected with all that is. Whatever you feel at this time, just welcome in that connection. And the fourth question we ask ourselves is, my heart and mind, are they connected? Just notice if your heart and your mind are connected, your mind to your heart. And just relaxing into that connection as we kind of relax into the layers of the information I shared about the trauma response that happens in our head. And the fear we can have in our hearts for processing memories. And what I've learned in my work and learning about other people's work and healing with, especially with migraines and all healing, is that we have to be able to process our emotions. And that is, we have to walk the field. And it is terrifying and quite painful to do so. But it offers relief at the end of it all. And having migraines is painful enough. So you definitely have it within you. And so to complete this Meditation Tuesday, I'm just going to share with you an easy breathing exercise where we're going to work with opening up the root chakra and the crown chakra that are directly correlated to supporting the endocrine system, which are the glands, which are the hormones, and their jobs are to process information from our past, this life, especially past lives, our ancestors' lives, that's encoded into our DNA, and also support us in our environment to get strong. So we, of course, can process emotions, but can manage a little bit better our sensory overload, right? For migraine headache, you know what I mean there. And what I'm going to share with you too is Holistic Healing 101 for everyone and anyone. This is where we start with chakra balancing, with any balancing. It's connecting us to below and connecting us to above so that we can find our hearts in the center. So join me and let's take 5 breaths into the root chakra, breathing into the pelvis, and then exhaling down the legs, out the feet. Just feeling your connection to the earth, relaxing into any stories that are coming up right now, and just using your breath to breathe into the root chakra for a couple more breaths. As you also breathe into our sexual centers, which are very correlated into the work that the pituitary gland is doing as well. And as I say that now, as you breathe into the root chakra, it's like you're going to hold your breath as you imagine energy coming up the spine and into the back of the head, the amygdala, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and exhaling into the back of your head and then out the top of your head. So it's breathing in to your root chakra and then coming up and exhaling out the top of your head into the crown chakra. Close your eyes. We'll be here for a little bit. And really focusing on the exhale, breathing, exhaling up and out the top of the head. Exhaling out into the relief and spaciousness above you. As you breathe into the root chakra, feeling the support of the earth, coming up the spine and exhaling out the top of your head. Or 2, it's like you can bring up these past emotions and experiences up and out the head. They expand into the infinite sky, the infinite bliss. And just a couple more breaths, inhaling into the root chakra, and then exhaling out the crown chakra, the top of your head. So you relax as the chakras begin to take over and do this balancing for you. And then finish with taking 5 breaths into your heart center, honoring yourself for the journey that you are on, embracing yourself as soul. a warrior, and a lover. Everyone I've met has such a heart of gold. So breathing into your heart of gold, connecting into the space around you to allow yourself, your soul self, your wounded self to begin to process and release pain and the hurt and the experiences of your past. Because you are so worth it to feel fully loved, supported, and free. Thank you for joining in on this Meditation Tuesday. I hope with all of my truth that you feel a little bit more seen. I've shared with you a different perspective so that you don't feel as alone. Please let me know in your comments, any feedback. I am here for you. And on a logistical note, next Tuesday there will be no meditation as it is the 4th of July. So I'll see you in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, be well. You are seen. Namaste.